Hello and welcome to The Sweaty, the Farmer and the Game Design, where we grow our tomatoes GMO-free and without any of that pesky interdimensional hormone. This is episode number 3, Worm God Rebirth. I am the long-named gamer as The Sweaty.
I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us in this episode. This week we'll be dive deep into some of our crazy ideas to see if we can improve Destiny 2 whatsoever.
But before that, let's take a look at the news. Right? This week's news. Where are they? There they are. There they are. The lead designer of the next Dragon Age games leaves BioWare. This studio is tearing itself apart, Lisa. Lucho.
I guess. Why did you say that?
Because just a week ago, the lead designer of Anthem left the studio too.
I mean, but
right?
Come on. It's Anthem.
And the problem is like the concurrent story.
I'll be fired as well if I was a lead developer for Anthem.
You'll be fired. Yeah. But the concurrent story of BioWare in all these days and why Anthem was such a disaster is like people has been leaving the studio in droves. And now supposedly Dragon Age is the last hooray for BioWare. They say that it's gonna save them all and it's gonna be great and it's gonna be the savior and supposedly based on the code of Anthem. So
people have to be more realistic. That's not how things work.
I know, right? But it comes like everybody jump off of this because it's like, oh, this is just more signs that BioWare is going to disappear soon. That Dragon Age is going to be another disaster as Anthem. And finally, EA is going to close the doors. They have like little to nothing of the old like veteran team of the BioWare studio. So yeah,
sure.
That's why it is relevant. It is another loss in a great studio, but I think it's gonna go the way of the dodo.
I mean, people been saying the same thing for Blizzard like for a long time right now. Like,
yeah, but
because a lot of their founding members have left the studio.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, like people made a huge
deal.
A huge deal when David Bruick left the studio.
Yeah.
So.
But it's
still. And the Outlaw 3 is.
It's fine.
Fine game.
But still, that's the problem, right? Like you have like the difference here is like Blizzard hasn't have like horrible delivery in the games. Like the games are kind of successful in work. And they haven't been like total disasters. That's the difference, right?
Kind of. I don't know. Like the Outlaw 3 release was kind of a disaster.
But Overwatch was a huge hit, which was the last game that they actually new game that they actually released, right?
True.
There you go. But BioWare has come like since like Andromeda, disaster. Anthem, disaster. Dragon Age Inquisition was okay. It wasn't like perfect. It was okay. It was middle of the road, right? So it's been in this like insane decline, and I think this is a sign of like the game is gonna be over soon. Game over, man. No. Game over.
That's the nature of the beast.
That's the nature of the beast, he says. Oh my god. All right. And on the next topic. No Man's Sky Beyond Update reveals the game's real potential. So my question about this news is like, I've been hearing about, No Man's Sky is now a great game. No Man's Sky is like the business. And like, it was like the first real like disaster launch game with zero content behind and a bunch of problems with a lot of like hype of it. And now they went quiet for like a year and a half. And then they come with these big updates that actually are delivered the game that they promised. So my question about this... But
haven't they also been delivering like smaller updates?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Like adding content little by little.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they've been doing that, but like they
Yeah.
went silent for a year, having delivered this really crappy project. And the relevant thing about the No Man's Sky is like the developer went in a bunch of social media, in a bunch of stuff, and lie about what the features of the game were, right? But he's been
Yeah.
like delivering on those lies. So is this a redemption story? Should games should like this kind of indie developers should like, let them like have more time on development, because like the story of No Man's Sky developers was they were picked up by a big developer and give funds because their project looks really with a lot of potential, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly they deliver, but who knows if it was actual pressure from the developer or not, or if it was simply like them fucked up the release, or if they needed more time, because it's clearly that with more time the game is actually delivering of the promise that originally came in.
Uh maybe it's hard to say because you need the money to back up the developers for that long, and it's too high for risk it's too high for risk for someone to invest in a like 10-year development thing
Yeah.
for the game to flop. So yeah, I mean, maybe from the artistic perspective it could make sense, but I don't think it makes financial sense at all.
All right.
like
Yeah.
like realistically speaking, that's it sounds grim and like, yeah, I just care about the money, but like they have to make money, and like you cannot work for 6 7 years and
but
not
there
get paid
but there is stories
for
about
the
how
love of the
how,
art.
how long are they been like the releases cycle for games of Blizzard. It's been like Eternal's release cycle, like 6 7 years for Overwatch.
Sure, but you could argue that Blizzard right now is in a position where they can do it
Yeah.
because they do have the money and they do generate the money,
Yeah.
but that's not feasible for like middle to small developer.
All right. All right. I
That's
guess.
what I'll argue. And I don't know, like if you were like as an indie developer,
Yeah.
spend 6 year working in nothing else and develop
Yeah.
your dream No Man's Sky game.
Yeah.
That's hard because you still have to pay the rent and you have to free like either you have another job and you can only work for this on the side,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or you're freelancing, and then that implies that you don't have that much time left to develop.
That's all right. Yeah, that's true. I see your point. Like at some point, you have like you will find yourself through life in those positions where you have to put your stuff out there and pray to
Yeah.
the gods. And the problem was like he lied about a bunch of things about like that.
Oh
That's the
no,
that's
yeah,
the
no,
thing,
no,
right?
yeah. No, don't get me wrong. That part, all like the whole the workload, the things that he promised, yeah, that's BS. But
Yeah.
but still, like just from a financial perspective, you have to balance. Like you can take time,
Yeah.
but you have to have a financial plan for that. Like
Yeah. That's true. But yeah, is
because
this? Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Is this a redemption story? Is like, is it now worth the product of like No Man's Sky, or
Hopefully,
or do you like actually stick to your guns and say, no, I'm not gonna buy this product because this developer lied to me, even if it becomes the best game in the world?
I mean, if you feel like he lied to you, you are completely entitled to never trusting that person again, or that developer or that studio again. So I wouldn't judge you. Like even if it's the best game in the world now,
Yeah.
like if you betray my expectations the first time, it's kind of it's a big move in a sense. So
Yeah. I
I
agree.
don't know. It's redemption. I don't think so. I think the community at large
Will not like it.
doesn't trust them that much, no matter how good they do now.
Yeah, I
I
think.
think they lost a lot of good faith
Yeah.
at the beginning, and that's really hard to recover.
Yeah, I think I have the same opinion, and I think the people who are now hyping up the game are like journalists who keep up with the game, and like people who already bought the game a long time ago and they're receiving these updates.
That's fine, but that's. I mean, again, I'm probably preaching to a choir, but that's why Warframe work, because they started small without
Yeah,
over promising,
yeah,
and they just came out of nowhere like with big stuff. But
yeah,
and they build trust that way, not like over promising features and things and content,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then in release day just flopping. That's
Yeah, I think that's the key. That's the key thing. Like, do not overpromise your game. Do
oh
not
no,
say is it gonna
you
cure
should be
cancer.
honest.
Yeah, yeah, because they came out to say like basically they came out to say that this game will cure cancer. Basically, like it'd be the best game ever. Right?
No, you have to be honest and transparent with where things are in development.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that we should remember with these kind of stories, that we should not like give it a pass even if they deliver a good product at the end. But
Yeah,
yeah, we should be careful with this type of thing. So because if not, you end up being a recurring thing throughout the industry, and then we
definitely.
end
Yeah,
up having like a bunch of developers who are lazy and don't deliver when they have to deliver, and bad stories happen and bullshit
yeah.
left and right,
That
and
is the whole live service thing
yeah, the whole
again.
life is service thing, yeah. And then what have we learned about Anthem is dead in the water, and it was like the best promise ever, and oh my god.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think the key thing is like remember that yes, they can deliver with time a good product, but if they lie to your face, you should not trust them.
as long as they are honest and transparent with
Yeah,
their with the stuff that they're doing, yeah, go
that's
for
fine.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Now that's about all the news we have this week. Not much happening this week. It's been
Yeah,
like kind of a chill week. So let's go straight to it, shall we, Lucho?
let's do it.
Let's just do it. So we have our deep dive.
Yeah, and I should disclaim that basically we're gonna talk about some of our ideas, and in my case probably crazy ideas about how
Crazy.
to improve all the things that I feel are broken in Destiny. That we have complained about Destiny for a while now, so
Like for
it's
six
fair
hours
to,
now.
yeah, and it's fair to put our own ideas
Yeah.
front forward and say, okay, like we have complaints, but we also have
Solutions.
ideas,
Yeah.
solutions. But I am not a game developer.
All
I'm
right.
not a designer in any sense. I'm not a game designer.
All right.
I'm not even a software developer, so I have no idea of any of this.
All right. I
I
am.
like I know how to program things, but it's mostly scientific stuff. So my experience with developing code is definitely not applicable to industry.
All right. It would be interesting because I am all of those things. So maybe some are plausible, maybe some are not.
I'm just gonna throw everything at the wall to see what sticks.
There you go. Throw stuff at the wall, friend. Throw stuff at the wall, friend.
Yeah,
All right. So let's do this. What is our
yeah,
first docket that we're gonna fix? How are we gonna save
yeah.
this game? Tell me
So,
about it.
so, so this is a complaint that I probably didn't mention before, but it's like at this point it is not. It should be known that I like stats in my games. Like I like numbers in my games,
Yeah.
and a lot of Destiny numbers like I feel like are hidden and they're not shown to me. You know what I mean? Like for
Yes.
example, in weapons, like I don't know, like I see numbers, but it's not that clear. Like, is this damage? Is this if this is a pulse rifle? Is this damage per tick?
Yeah.
Is damage per second? If this is a beam weapon, what is
Yeah.
this? Is damage on contact? Are these ticks? So my
Yeah.
all that information should be shown to a player, because that way it makes it easier for the people like me who acquire interest in like going super deep into stats and like playing around with the numbers and oh no, this is the thing. And then like for example, the
Yeah.
perks or the description of the perks for the weapons and the armor in game,
Yeah.
it's just like words.
Are
And
super vague, yeah.
yeah, but they don't but you don't kill the enemies with words because it's a program computer, so you're killing them with numbers at the end of the day.
It's not a bad idea for a game. Isn't there a game which is like Typewriter of the Dead or something like that, where you actually kill zombies typing on your keyboard?
Yeah, sure. But
I
this
just
is not
derailed you.
if Destiny 2 is that, I'm playing it wrong.
All right.
But that's what I'm saying. And just to round up my complaint slash
Fix.
idea is that,
Yeah.
for example, the on the character screen on
Yep.
Destiny, when you see the weapons that you have equipped and the armor,
Yeah.
like you have this huge, nice looking model in the middle,
Yes.
but a lot of, in my opinion, a lot
Yeah.
of wasted real estate stats where you can show me how much armor do you have, how much defense against solar do you have, how much defense against whatever,
Yes.
how much damage do you have, how much damage of each type do you have. Like all these numbers, in my opinion, should be shown and should be given to a player because I want to play with those numbers.
All right.
I don't know what do you think about it?
Well, there is this kind of thing is not a problem of coding in the game.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not.
There's some
it's a design decision.
Yeah, there is some trepidation about showing numbers to the player always because and this happens with Anthem. Let's now that we bring a collision. This happened with Anthem. The reason I don't believe this happened with Destiny. I think they're like in their own way like decent developers, but with Anthem there were a bunch of imaginary systems that didn't work in the game. Multipliers that were not applying, so they were not showing you. And like the scandal that made me jump out of that game was like, I love min-maxing in games, and the scandal that made me say this game is trash, even with all the disaster that was that the numbers that you saw in the screen every time you hit an enemy weren't real. They weren't the actual damage that you were doing. It was a fabrication of the numbers, right? So there is this trepidation.
But we're not that. I'm assuming. I'm putting my good faith on Bungie.
Yes, but
that's not what they're doing.
Of course. But my point is not that. My point is like the reason why they generally don't go for the approach of showing you the numbers directly is because if something is broken, it becomes really transparent when you do that, right? And the problem is like if you make it, it's a decision. It's not a moral or moral. No. It's a decision because if you do that, you make super obvious what is broken in the game, and it gives you less time to fix it, right?
No, like okay, I disagree that it gives you less time. It just it puts it at front, and as long as you're honest about that and you acknowledge it, like the system is broken, we're working on fixing it. Yeah. I think the community will be fine with that. Like,
yes, I agree with that. But that's one of the reasons why. And the second reason is a new field on the game industry that's been created recently is a purely AI UI design, right? In the past, the person who actually work in the design in the games, in the UI design in the games were like any game designer. But it's come to a point that designing a UI has become so important in the field of games that actually created his own soup thingy, like
its own field.
Yeah, his own field, right? But there's like new UI designers that actually see that kind of stuff. And so the problem is like a UI design problem, because if the numbers are correct and exist, it's no problem. You can just pull them out of the system and present it in a nice way, right? And then you find the correct way to show it. For Destiny, I have the feeling every time I look at the interface in general in Destiny that they're afraid of numbers because they're afraid that the player is gonna say, "Oh no, too many numbers, man!" and he's gonna run and jump out of the window.
Oh, I completely agree with that.
Yeah,
I believe that is like the decision of not showing that information is not because they're hiding something or
yeah,
because they're not able to it. It's
yeah,
because they don't want to scare people with numbers because numbers
exactly.
are scary,
Numbers are
which
scary, which is
they're not.
ridiculous. But numbers are scary in general. If you just want to shoot
No,
stuff,
they're not.
they're not scary.
Numbers are fine.
But numbers hide under your bed, Lucho, at nights. Ah.
No,
Ah,
it's not like what?
yeah, yeah, I know,
What?
I know. But that's the thing, right? So as we know of the story of Destiny, Destiny was kind of this designed in such a way that was widely appealing, right? And number scares like super friendly gamers because they say, "Oh, this is a bunch of numbers, and I will get confused, and I don't know what to do, and too many options or whatever," right? But there's
Okay,
a way.
so
There is a smarter
how
way.
would we reach a
There you
middle
go.
ground?
That was where I was going. There is a smarter
Okay.
way to do it, right? Imagine, you present the same interface in Destiny, but you have a button or something that you pass through, and then all the numbers pop up, right? Like a stat sheet,
No,
like
no,
in,
I
like
don't.
in
I
the
don't.
Division
I
2,
don't.
right? They don't show
Ah,
you to use straightforward, but you can turn it on and off, right? You want to have your numbers, you will
okay,
have your numbers.
that's the like. I don't like the hover or the thing
It's a design decision,
window.
right? Yeah, you can turn it on and off, you can click it,
Yeah, that
whatever. Yeah,
that I can get behind it. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a toggle option.
yeah,
Perfect.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give me the option. I want all the numbers. I want
Yeah,
all the
like
scary
like in
numbers
Diablo 3,
because
when if you want to see
yeah,
the numbers in Diablo 3, you just press Alt, and they
yeah.
will show you the actual numbers of what the X thing. But the rest is hidden. Like if you want to, you do in Diablo 3, you don't want to see the numbers, you don't see the numbers. You don't see the
Oh yeah,
multipliers, you
no.
don't see the chances. Um, you don't even have to look at the stat sheet, right? So that's an
Yeah,
option
yeah,
to do
yeah.
it, and you have actually the the space in the interface to do it, right?
Oh,
For what I've
definitely.
seen in the next update, they're kind of showing you a lot more numbers with significance in terms of the stats, with the rework of the armor. Of what I've seen of Armor 2.0 of the next update.
I'm skeptical, but we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
of what I've seen, they're actually showing you a lot more numbers that they do now, and they
I really
are
hope so.
yeah, and that's the way to do it. And the way like with weapon perks is the craziest thing ever because you have to go to the weapon, check the stats, and then decipher what in the F everything does because everything in Destiny are bars.
I hate those bars so
Yeah.
much.
And bars is
Put a
the
freaking number.
yeah, and the bars are like bars are okay as a compliment, but it's like I
As a
have a
visual
little
aid,
bit
it's
of
fine.
yeah.
Come on, like
I would like to see
I
the
can read
number.
numbers.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see the actual numbers because bar are not doing anything for me. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I need the shotgun to have more range, and there's like 4 range options, and every range option gives me a little bit bar.
yeah,
So
and there are moves like 2 pixel,
yeah,
like
exactly.
bars of width of 2 pixels.
Yes.
Like what in the name of Jesus is that? Like
Yes, and yes, you have some numbers to the left if I'm not wrong, but it's very difficult to see what those number actually does, because
yeah,
yes, you can see the numbers. You're like, oh yeah, it has more range, three plus 3 range plus 4 range in the bar, and then in the little number by the side. But in actuality, how do you even do that? Like the only thing right now, and they're being smart about this because they kind of fixing it slowly. Because now you actually have a shooting range of the game when you actually can see what those numbers are actually doing, even if it's behind an
um,
insane grind wall. You know what I mean? You know what I'm referring to, right?
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
The menagerie thingy
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Carlos gave you with all the
yeah.
monsters and and etc. And until that point, you how do you know? Do you go to a while and test it in random dudes? How do you calculate? How do you swap? You
I
know?
don't know. Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's what I'm complaining, and I'm
right?
saying
The same,
just show me the numbers.
yeah,
I want the numbers.
the same with the perks in the armor,
Oh yeah,
resilience,
definitely.
resilience, mobility, and blah. So the only reason how do you actually know what those things does? It's like, oh yeah, in the game it's like, yeah, it gives you more resilience. So every time you get hit, oh, it gives you the speed. But the mobility is something ridiculous where the only form to know is like you go and see a YouTuber which tells you, yeah, if you have like mobility 7+, something like that, you can jump higher and move faster, and that's the way to go. You're like,
Yeah,
okay. And then there is little things like the scavenger perks,
yeah.
which is like you have a chance of dropping bricks and blah blah blah. But what is the
Oh
chance?
no,
What is the
tell
percentage?
me how much is that
Yeah,
chance? I
exactly.
don't. Yeah,
Is it
it's
worth it? Is it
just
not worth it? It's just like running normal. Tell me what is the
yeah.
flat percentage to see if it's actually worth it to run the ammo finder blah or the blah scavenger blah
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
definitely.
Yeah, and all those
Yeah,
numbers are. I feel they're there, right?
of
But
course they
they're
are there because that's how
super
computers
hidden.
work.
Yeah, but they're super hidden, right? They're
But
not like
what do you think your computer is doing? It's
yeah.
computing numbers. The numbers are there.
I
Like,
mean, inside the game. I mean, inside the game. The numbers are
of
there in
course
the
they are
game.
inside the
In the
game. They're
game.
not running in your
Come on.
word processor. Like they are there. Of
Come
course
on.
they are.
So I feel that like the numbers are there, but they're super difficult to calculate, see what they does, all in conjunction. Like I'm referring everything in one place because you can like
Yeah.
have like go to each of your armors and see, oh yeah, I have a scavenger ammo finder here and blah 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 here, and
Yeah,
if you
oh,
cross
that's
over,
no, that's a huge thing. Like on that character screen, they
yeah,
should definitely show you all the perks that you have in your armor,
right?
like
And is
as
it
a list.
like at least right in the
Yeah,
one of
and that you don't have to hover or each
yeah
individual thing
every
and remember. Oh, I have this in this,
in
this in
this
that.
yeah
No, just put them in a list so that you can
yeah.
read all of them. And if you swap something, it changes and
It
you see
changes,
it.
right? And you can see it, right? For
Even
those,
Monster Hunter does that, and it's like super annoying because you have to navigate through menus to get
yes,
there.
yes.
And these are menus that are like not like PC optimized. I feel like they work better
Console,
with
yeah, for console,
controls
yeah,
or a control
yeah.
probably. But they're still there. Like you can actually get there. Like after a little bit
Of
of
going through, you
navigation, you
can
get
actually
to a place
see
where you see
everything.
all the
Yeah,
perks.
yeah. That are active. Yes, and
Yeah,
and he actually
but
tells you what it does. But yeah,
that's
for those of you who are actually hearing the podcast, Lucho is doing this like super face palm face.
oh man, yelling at
Face,
at the
man
cloud.
yelling at the clouds. So yeah, this is like a super. I hope with the new update, it looks like it. It looks like they're going into that direction. They're going to show you more numbers. They're going to
I
show
really
you what it
hope
is.
so,
I've
but I
been
feel like this kind of thing that you're talking about
yeah.
is like a super basic thing. Like, come on, dude. Like, no one thought about it.
You never played Diablo 3? Come on, dude.
Yeah, not even that. Like, have you never played
An
any game
RPG,
in your life?
an Final Fantasy, an RPG, any RPG, and pick it up.
Even a tabletop one.
Yes, even
Something.
a tabletop one that actually tells you the numbers and what it does and everything else. But yeah,
Yeah,
so mainly a small UI redesign, I will say, when they actually show
yeah,
you toggle it or not toggle it, like that's up to them. But I think it's kind of necessary to show you
it
that
is.
stuff, like to
And
see.
I think I really think that kind of thing would help me get more involved with the game because right now I see those perks and it's like, yeah, sure.
Can you
I'm a
imagine
finder.
if they actually show you how fast your supercharges, and every time you pick up a new perk, how that affects your supercharges? That will
That would be
actually that will actually
yeah.
make you feel like super powerful, right? It's not a
That will at
vague.
least give me a feeling for the game. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. And then I found out like you went to a YouTube video as usual, and there's like, oh yeah, here are the calculations. So it's like your super starts at 4 minus 20 flat, and then if you add mods, then you shorten it to 3 minus 20 in every piece super mod. But that
yeah, I
doesn't
know.
account if you kill stuff that gives you supercharge because they don't tell you how much charge are you getting, how big is the bar, how many pieces of the bar is, how much is a full supercharge. I would like to know.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, because that's how you optimize builds.
Yes.
Like min maxing builds is not about moving bars around. It's actually about like min maxing numbers.
Yes. Correct. Because
and like I'm super amazed of all the content creators that actually get to the role of trying to somehow measure this stuff.
They always use APIs.
And make content about it because it's a pain in the ass.
I've noticed that they rely a lot on third party sites where they actually take the Destiny API and put those numbers in front of you, and actually tells you what each piece of number does.
Yeah,
but it's like if for min maxing you need to use like 3 different websites where actually all the numbers are actually presented to you. That's ridiculous.
That should be in game.
Yeah, exactly. That should be like in front and center. If you're afraid of numbers, you can toggle it off. Nobody's gonna judge you.
No, of course not.
Yeah, and have fun still with the game as is, right?
You can play the game however you want. And I want to play with numbers, so give me a number.
Let me play with numbers. Yeah. So this I think will be like a small UI redesign, and I
feel the same way.
I reiterate that it is an easy fix. I reiterate that for what I've seen of Shadowkeep and the new armor, they're trying to go that direction. And they mentioned like a hardcore feature because we are actually an MMORPG, right? But they are going in that direction, putting more numbers into the game and actually visualizing. But I would love a UI redesign.
I'm skeptical, but we'll see.
Which in terms of developing the feature is not that hard.
I wouldn't expect it, but I'm skeptical. I always am.
You always are skeptical. All right, we fixed. Now we have a Destiny with cute numbers and good information.
Yeah.
What is next?
Armor exotics. And
yeah, super underwhelming armor exotics. There is like in each class, the only class that has a lot of good armor exotics is like Hunter. Is the only class that I've heard that the majority of armor exotics are actually interesting and useful in a way, right?
I see, yeah.
But for Warlock are like 4, which are usable. And for Titan is like 3.
It's like 1.
Yeah.
Like 1 for PvE, 1 for PvP. And
yeah, exactly. And again, exotics has to dramatically change the way you play the game. Right?
I mean, it doesn't have to be dramatic, but it has to change it, like in a meaningful way.
Yes. For example, one of my favorite armor exotic, which is trash, is the sun braces. And the sun braces actually dramatically change like the way you play the game, right? Because it gives you like 5 seconds where you can infinitely spam grenades with a condition, right? And that's like super unique. I haven't seen any exotic that does that. That let you for 5 seconds spam grenades in the game, right? And that's a very good exotic. That changes the way that actually when I saw the exotic, it's like, oh, that feeling like I want to do a build around this. I want to like infinitely spam grenades. I will like not care about anything. But the other exotic which are useful only does one thing, is like, I will either give you a little bit more damage, or I will give you more ultimate charge, or I will leave your ultimate to last longer. That's it.
Yeah, that's not that exciting.
Right?
If the whole goal of the exotic is just to keep doing perma ultimate,
yeah,
kind of boring.
And those are the most powerful exotics in the game. They give you like faster ult charge and longer ult, or a little bit more damage on your ult. The others are like, you'll give you like 2 charges of grenades, which...
Okay. Oh yeah, that sucks. So bad.
Or
because the grenade doesn't, like, if you use one, like you have the other one, but the first one doesn't start recharging.
Yeah. Or like ridiculous.
So what?
What? Or ridiculous thing like I will cast. Hear this. I will cast healing reef after you die.
Oh yeah.
That's what dreams are made of, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so give me an example of an exotic that you would add to a game.
For example, I'll give you. I don't even have like to go that far, right?
No, just give me something that you think would be cool.
My favorite class of the warlock is the electric one because it makes me feel like Emperor Palpatine, right? So I will put an exotic under that class that will make my grenades convert themselves into a thunderbolt. Right? So the exotic
Okay.
will read, consume your grenade, and then release it to cast a thunderbolt and deal area damage.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And then and that's super interesting because how it works, this class is like every electrical damage that you do, it is area damage and it bounces. It does a little bit of electric damage, and if there is somebody near to you, it just bounces. But it'd be super cool to like actually be in a fight, bunch of mobs, and then you consume your grenade, and a thunderbolt comes from the sky, blows them all away.
Okay, I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
and it would probably seem super cool.
Yeah.
But does that really changes the way that you play?
Of course, because you want to have like more time to charging your grenade. So you will lean a bunch. Actually, what you have to make for the way to be that the actually thunderbolt be super powerful. So the way that you will do it, you will find ways to like reset your grenade so you can use it more often.
Okay, yeah, sure. I get that.
Yep.
But I still have the feeling that that thing doesn't really change, because let's say I'm going for a build.
Yep.
Whose goal is to spam grenades, just normal grenades.
Yep.
That and what you're describing is not that different. It's just that your grenades looks definitely cooler.
And you can like
than me just throwing a little thing to a crowd.
And the thing is like it will remove the actual like have to aim your grenade. And it's a big area damage. It will be like so much powerful that actually
why would it remove that?
What? Because you don't have to aim it. It just like comes down.
Oh, it comes down to you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I was actually thinking that it will be that it will actually show you like the area that's gonna affect, and you will aim it. Because I'll prefer that if I'm being honest.
You prefer aiming of grenade?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
But that's still
really. Because you probably prefer a more. It's probably because you prefer a more brawler type of.
Yeah, but that will still remove the you have to lob your grenade, because the lobbing of the grenade requires kind of like aiming your grenade, so it will be, if you change it for an area, that'll be so much easier to actually aim.
Yeah. But okay, no. I agree with that.
Yep.
And I'm just playing devil's advocate, and I'm just saying that I don't feel like that kind of exotic really changes the gameplay that much. Because let me say, for example, there is the chest exotic for the Titan that's Sunbreaker, something.
Some furnace
that recharges your solid abilities faster when you have
your some furnace.
So that one basically, and it's even faster if you have your ultimate charge.
Yes.
So you could argue that one, for example, changes the way that you play, because you're gonna spam your ultimate less.
Yeah.
If you have enough perks that improve the damage of your grenades, and you wanna be
correct
throwing grenades more without.
But that's what I consider. That's why that's a good exotic.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That changes the way that you play, because then you think about just keeping the charge in your ultimate instead of using the ultimate.
Yeah.
So it's removing something out of the game.
So you want to be
In
like,
the one that you just described,
Yeah.
you still want to spam the grenades, and the build that you're going for is still like reduce grenade charge or increase grenade damage or
yeah,
whatever. Like I like the idea because it seems super cool,
yeah.
but it still doesn't change the gameplay.
It doesn't change radically.
side.
Well,
Yeah.
if you wanna change the game radically, how to play. In that sense, you could like consume supercharge for doing the ability. You wanna like cost it.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
okay. I like that. I like that they could go in a way that where the ultimate charge could
It's
be a
used for
resource
something
to
else.
manage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll definitely change it.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And the Thunderbolt will do a lot of damage when it's actually worth it to never cast your ult.
Oh, what if the damage is related? It's proportional to the amount of charge that you have.
So you can like actually charge it, like stay there and then just consume the bar.
And just nuke the map.
Yeah,
if it is fully
like
charged.
this super. Yeah, that's it. That's like a very good, entertaining design for an exotic, and radically change it. How do you play?
That would be cool. Yeah, because then, if you really lean into the damage of your grenades, you could disregard your ultimate.
Yeah, and just like multiply your damage of your grenade with whatever, with like actually consuming on your ult. And like make a super Thunderbolt, and it won't like, and this will not require for them to create another class or another tree or another type of ult, and it will feel
no.
And it will fundamentally
play with the game.
Yeah, and it will fundamentally feel like an ult.
Yeah.
Right? When you supercharge it, and like of course it's gonna be like a huge area of damage.
That would be cool. That's an idea I like that they made the ultimate charge like a resource to manage and to play around with, that you can do more stuff with that.
And as far as I know, they don't do it with any ult, with any exotic that exists in the game right now.
Yeah, not that I'm aware either.
No, every exotic is like, it will, for kill, they will give you more ult charge, or you will generate more ult charge if you plant it and have this thing, right? But it doesn't. Yeah. They don't use the ult bar for something else, for like another resource. For example, another example of an exotic, and this one will be like for still the warlock, and it's like I like to play with the warlock, but I like my guns because everybody in Destiny loves their guns, right? And the thing about the ult system is like, if you go too far with it, you remove the necessity to use your abilities, right? If you have like very powerful guns, you kind of don't use your abilities, just like occasionally or to zone, because your weapons are so powerful they're deleting everything, right?
Sure.
Which is not bad or good. Which is not bad or good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you actually love your guns, you can make an exotic where you supercharge your guns, right? So you imbue your guns with like electric damage, and you consume some other resource, right? Or you put like little. Have you seen like the warlock like little sentries?
Yep.
Imagine if you charge one of your guns with sentries around the gun, and you shoot electric damage on top of the damage that your gun does.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be interesting. Yeah, like an exotic that makes you like a support kind of style that basically buffs you.
Yeah, buffs. Or you can buff everybody. Like you can like
and your party or around you.
You can make it super buffer, cool, right? And you like, and for example, like if you use your reef, then you give like everybody solar. If you consume your grenade, everybody electric. If you put your ult, then everybody gets void damage, or something like that, right? Like kind of that sound, like you're imbuing weapons with like damage on top of whatever you're doing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but there's nothing like that in like There's little to nothing. Like there is one exotic in this in the hunter which I find very interesting, which gives you like infinite like fire knives,
Yeah.
which kind of changes the way you play, because what you want to do is like throw knives, ignite the dudes, like put a dot on the dudes, and that will and then dodge, and that will give you your knights back. So
Yeah.
you're constantly like just burning dudes. You don't even need to actually shoot your gun, because the only thing you're doing is applying a bunch of burn, and that dot gives you charge of your knives back,
Yeah.
right? So the gameplay is like knife, kill somebody, dodge, knife, ignited, somebody dead, dodge, ignite, super cool, right? You're just going around knifing people. It's the same with the electric combo of the hunters. With you hit somebody, if you kill it, they give you back your melee charge, and then you dodge, and that will recharge your dodge, and then you hit somebody, and that's gonna create like a stack of like charging. But can you imagine if you have uh, exotic where you take that combo system, and at the end, if you stack any number of times, you make a super discharge?
Yeah.
Yeah, or they give you like an exalted weapon. I don't know. Like so many possibilities, right?
Yeah. Like now you mentioned stacking, and that I was actually recently playing with Nidus and Warframe.
Yeah,
It would be nice to have in Destiny an exotic that allowed you to stack, like to build stacks of stuff,
yeah.
and then you can then use them to
Do something else.
to amplify your weapons
Whatever.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. But no, there is nothing like that. Not
there's
even
nothing like
close.
that. Yeah,
And I
I
think
like
they're
that. Like they should. I feel like what we're saying is that they should create exotics that give you more resources to manage. Like,
yes. They should create exotics that are more complex that they
yeah.
already
Oh,
are,
definitely, definitely.
right? Because, like, for example, one of the void exotics gives you something that kind of is interesting, but is difficult to grasp. Where every time you get a kill with a void ability or void weapon, it gives you more ult charge, but it gives you more damage, right?
Okay.
So the whole shtick of this is like, well, you keep if you keep your void kills, right?
Yeah.
It will give you more damage, and that will help your void kills, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's
I
not
see.
very interesting, because what is the payout? You just do more damage.
Yeah.
And like, okay.
I mean, bigger numbers are always nice, but
Yeah, but
yeah, but that doesn't seem exotic worthy.
yeah, the only thing that it does is like, oh, I just want like a bunch of weapons that does void damage.
Yep.
That's how radically you're changing your playstyle.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, but they need to break to do more risque stuff, to like try to push the boundaries of their system. And I there is hope for us, because again, with the spoilers of Hardware 2.0, I saw one of the developers doing this very strange thing with there's one of the exotic where you consume your grenade, and then you make a little like thunder drone, right? And she was like stacking all these stats in the new armor system, where the thunder drone was killing everything.
Okay.
And now you have like a little turret that kills everything, right? And that's like held by this exotic, which makes your grenade a turret, so you can summon this turret all the time and deals like a bunch of damage. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. You keep bringing up that they're gonna do all these amazing things. I don't trust them.
Who knows?
I don't trust anyone, not even myself. So.
You don't trust
We'll
me?
see what happens when they roll out all these
This
game-saving changes,
game saving changes. So yeah, so armor
quote
exotic
unquote.
needs to be like fundamentally change the way you play, fundamentally change something that not only gives you like more power in terms of like faster charges of your ults, or like more time on your ults and that sort of stuff, because that's not that interesting as fundamentally change the way you play the game and what you prioritize, and
Yeah.
what resources do you want, or and the playing with the old charge bar is very interesting, and that sort of like weird ways when you have something for something else instead of just giving you like random more power and that's it, right? It's
Yeah.
stacking more power on top of more power. It's like kind of at some point gets boring, right?
Uh, I mean, I'm not gonna deny it because I find Destiny 2 quite boring. So,
Okay. Oh my god.
you know that I wouldn't play it by myself. So,
Yeah, I know, I know. So that's about the armor exotics.
yeah,
They need, in conclusion, they need to do it radically change the way you play the game and manipulate more systems.
yeah, they need to bring more to the table.
Yeah. Yeah, because what we have is really underwhelming with a bunch of stuff like they don't work, or they don't have enough damage, or they're too difficult to trigger even if they're interesting and like cumbersome. They need to be clear on their intent of the
Yes,
exotics.
yes,
The intent of the exotic has to be super clear, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you have anything else to add about armor exotics? Just delete half of it
Just,
and make
just
nukes. Anyone?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
okay.
I mean, there is probably a way to salvage most of them. Like,
Like reworking them.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
and I mean, just to be fair, like reworking the exotics right now in Destiny 2, it's probably a huge endeavor that would take a lot of time and
Yes.
like a lot of effort and a lot
Yes.
of
Yes.
developing time.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
not
In
claiming
this
that.
point.
Oh yeah, do it in a weekend.
Yeah,
Easy
easy.
peasy, lemon squeezy. No.
But yes, in terms of development, doing this is hard. It's hard because you're
It's a monumental effort for
It's
them right
hard
now.
because you're manipulating systems that were not meant to be manipulated.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So you have to either rebuild the system or like make something else on top of it so you can actually manipulate it, which is
Yep.
which is hard when you have a 2-year-old game with
Behemoth. Yep.
yeah, with expansions top of expansions. Anyway, so next, set bonuses and bonuses.
Yeah, like
Yes.
sets and set bonuses. It's because basically armor exotics that are not the only thing that the
Yes.
game has.
Yes,
We
yes,
have,
yes.
since we are limited to use one exotic armor piece and one exotic weapon
Which is fine.
at the time, which is fine. It's perfectly
Yeah.
fine. But that leaves like all the other spaces in the gear
Yeah.
to do interesting stuff.
Yes.
And okay, like full disclaimer, there are a lot of people who don't like Diablo 3 set design, like gear set design,
Yes.
because they complain that a lot of the endgame builds
Yeah.
revolve too much around the sets, and that's the only powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fair complaint, but
But
I think it's worth exploring,
yes.
like bringing pieces of armor that are part of a set that have extra bonuses and extra perks and things that are unique to them.
Yes. And they look nice together, and they give you a kiss at night and they tuck you into
Yeah.
bed.
Which just to explain, it's what sets are in Diablo 3 and as well as in the Division 2s. They're not sets, but they're like
They are sets.
grouped by brands, basically.
But they are actually they have actually sets.
They have actually sets, but the sets that they have in Division 2, okay, yeah, sure, it's the same thing as in Diablo 3.
Yes,
It's
yes.
kind of this quote unquote endgame thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah, should they bring something like that to Destiny? What do you think?
Well, has been proven for like a lot of time And I think in terms of itemization, I think Diablo 3 has been very smart about it. And
I think they have to stumble their
yeah,
way into
stumble away
greatness.
to be very smart about it.
Yeah.
Why do I say this before I talk about the set bonuses, the potential set bonuses in Destiny 2? Because that just give you more design space, right?
Yep.
They give you more possibilities of what you can do in the game, right? And yes, like for a time, or for the majority of the time, end game in Diablo 3 revolve our sets, right? But not necessarily, because we have something else which brings unique legendaries to par, which is the Legacy of Dream system, when you get like a bonus if you're not using any sets,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No,
That
I know that that's like a lot of people would say that that's for the most part too hard to use because basically you need to aim for really powerful
but
legendaries,
they just fix
and
it in the last patch.
there are still people complaining.
Well, what they did in the last patch is that they introduced a new stone where he actually gives you the bonus without needed to be like super powerful legendaries. Just give you the bonus flat. So that way, acquiring this alternative to use set is no longer that difficult. So the thing about sets is balance, right? That's the actual problem about introducing sets in any system of optimization.
Oh
Where
yeah,
because the set demands so much space in terms of what you can do, you have to be very careful uh, to not be super powerful, but not be very useful, very not useful. So it's very difficult in terms of optimization to balance this. What you do, which Diablo does, is give you bonuses for each couple of pieces of this set, right? Which gives you more flexibility in terms of balance. So I'm going to give you certain power. You have those two pieces of this set. I'm going to give you certain power. You have four pieces of this set on top of the rest.
oh yeah. I
I'm
mean
going to give you
that's
six powers
that's
on
how
top of everything.
Diablo does it. That's
Yeah,
how
but it's
the
important.
division
It's
does it.
important. It's
Yep,
important for
it is. It
balance
is.
because that give you that doesn't make the set the absolute best in terms of items, and it gives flexibility so you can use something else with the set or like
Oh yeah,
complement something
that you
else with
can
the
mix
set.
and match. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The things like these bonuses on points, they have to be very different on what they do while maintaining the thematic of the set, which is the difficult part, right? That they actually like two pieces of the set is gonna be actually useful without needing the entire set. But if you have the entire set, it's gonna be useful for X, Y, Z for this kind of this type of gameplay style, right?
Yeah.
That's the balancing trick of introducing sets. It gives you a lot of more space or a lot of more design space, but it's very difficult to balance in the same quarter.
Oh, yeah. No, it's that's the that's the beast to tame.
Yes, that's the best to take. In Destiny 2, they have this about sets. They have like bonus sets in the raid, which gives you more power inside the raid that you are. And then they give you like, for example, the menagerie one, they give you like extra slots when you can put like a mod, which is only usable inside the menagerie related activities, right?
Sure. Yeah. I know.
But I think that's very limited inside the actual building system, right? It's interesting that they will give you armor that is more useful in certain activities, but then it comes the problem of like you have to have every piece of armor for blah 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 activities because they give you more blah blah blah, and that's not the
Yeah.
point of sets. The point of sets it gives you power and different ways to play the game, right? So if what they give you will be like widely applicable, it'd be much better. And then you will go to these activities to chase certain pieces of set, not because they're useful in this activity, but because they're useful in general for your playstyle, which makes it
Yeah.
such a different such a different chase, and it will change your mind about raiding Destiny 2, right?
Uh,
Because what is the point
yeah,
of raiding Destiny 2 right now? The point of raiding Destiny 2 is twofold. Get good perks in your armor with the special armor from the raid, which is gonna change in the next system, or get cool weapons, unique into the raid, right?
sure.
But do you feel motivated to go and like do a 4 3 hour, like actually grind a 4 3 hour um, raid when you only chasing guns and
I mean,
everything feels super underwhelming?
you know that I'm not. But
There you go. But what if I tell you that inside this raid there is like a set which is gonna give you like more power, or gonna change some way how you play the game in
yeah, no, I
general in the
mean,
game, right? So
yeah,
the
if you can get set pieces or armor pieces that have bonuses that are widely applicable, of course. But
yeah, the chase
if they
becomes
only applied for one specific activity, it's kind of okay. Who
it's kind
cares?
of exactly my point. So it's like it becomes less desirable. Why the exotics in Destiny 2, even if they are crap, they are more desirable? Because you see somebody playing with exotics, it's like, oh, he's doing X and Y. How do you get that? And then that person tells you, you have to do this quest. Then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, nice. I can just go do this quest and get that exotic that is interesting to me. And I have a fun time going to this quest step and like uncovering the lore about the exotic and blah blah blah. And then you have a fun time. But if you do that with armor, then it's like, oh, this person is using this set. How do you get it? No, you have to go and raid this kind of thing, and it'll be
Oh
like
yeah.
so much
But
better.
they have to using it outside activities.
Yeah, exactly. They have to be like
Otherwise, is
widely use activities much better, right?
yeah.
And that's my point. That's
Oh
the point of sets. Like, they're very difficult to balance. They give you this reward in terms of playability, but it will give you, like for Destiny, it will give you a huge boom in all these high level activities. Which right now the only things that people are actually like chasing are weapons from it, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the point about set and set bonus. It's very difficult. Like, I don't recommend to take it lightly. Even like division, even with all the experience that the people in the massive entertainment division 2 have, they're being very careful with like introducing sets, because they have the experience in division 1 where like for a time their sets were super meta and everybody was chasing them, and like they were super powerful. So they've been very careful, because you can get to the point where the sets are going to eclipse all your systems.
Oh yeah. I mean, I agree with that.
Yep.
It's definitely really hard to balance, and the outlook tree is a living proof of that. Like they've been
Been struggling with
balancing
it.
and tweaking their sets and bonus sets for years now,
Yeah.
and they're gonna keep doing that forever and ever and ever.
But then my question for you is like, will it be worth it for Destiny 2 to do this? To go down that path for you as
I
a player?
mean, I think it would, because it just gives you more options. Like the holy grail is to have a balanced system of sets, like a system of sets
Yeah.
and set bonuses balanced enough so you can engage with it and get the rewards, but you can still, like, if you don't engage with the system, you don't lose you can be powerful enough
Yeah.
so that you can still take part in all the activities
Yes,
in
exactly.
an equal footing with all the players.
Exactly. Imagine
It might be harder if you don't engage with the system, but it's still attainable.
yeah. Yeah, and the example is like, oh, well, I don't have all these exotics, but I did this raid, and this raid gave me like a baseline set, which is very cool, and then I acquire power from that way. And then after that, I
Yeah.
can go to more difficult stuff and like actually go chase the exotics and blah blah blah. And then you escalate that system, and like, but it gives you this foothold to start in your chase of power inside the game. I think that's the good thing. Even if like balancing them is very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, the balancing part is always gonna be hard, and that's what it is. It's like you're gonna be tweaking the numbers and the stats all the time with sets because because
That's how it
for whatever
goes.
reason they're gonna become too powerful or too
Yeah,
underwhelming or
or whatever. Yeah, but I
whatever.
think
Yeah, it's gonna
yeah,
happen. It's fine. That's
yeah. I think it's better to
that's why the
experiment.
live service is.
Yeah,
Keep doing it.
I think it's better to experiment that not to do it. I think it's better for them to open that path that not to open that path. Like
I think that, yeah, I think they could gain a lot. The game could gain a lot of deepness out of it,
yeah,
and yeah, I mean, I like sets in Diablo and in the edition, so bring them on.
all right. So bring set bonus to Destiny 2, please. That'll be
Yeah,
fantastic. Take out those like super niche activity bonus base.
yeah. I think they also have like set bonuses for
No,
Gambit.
they have set bonuses. They have special abilities inside the activities, and they have enhanced perks. But all that is going to change with the new armor system.
That's but like I saw they have like set bonuses for Gambit.
Yeah.
From Gambit armor that you get from the Reckoning, I
Yes.
think.
Correct.
That gives you like you can carry more modes
Yeah.
or
Deal
stuff
more
like that. Like,
damage. Yeah.
yeah, but I saw it and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. If I only play Gambit.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's super limited. You have a huge game.
Yeah, and I remember that I thought I actually thought like,
It'll be nice to
oh,
get.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That sounds useful. If I play Gambit, like sure,
Yeah.
I play Gambit. I enjoy playing Gambit.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing game mode. But dude, I'm not gonna. That's not the only thing that I'm gonna play.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot more.
It's not worth my time to go grind for these pieces with the nice perks or whatever, and
Yeah.
I'm just gonna use it for one activity. That's a waste of time.
Yeah, exactly my point. That's a waste of time. The same with the particular armor pieces for the raids and certain places. I think that's silly. I think that's just silly. I don't like that design space. I think it's super limited.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, into the next point. Structure of activities. Bounties. Balls.
It's.
What
I
is
think I
this?
mentioned.
All
I
right.
think I have mentioned this before, and it's. That the bounty system is just plain and boring to me.
Terrible,
And,
plain, boring. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's
and
like.
like for example, the fact that you can only track three bounties at a time. Why? Let me track all of them. It's my problem.
What's the problem? You know what will be more interesting? You know what? What is one of the problems with bounties for me? That you have to pick them up. What is the point of picking them up?
I don't know, but
What is the point of buying them?
surprisingly, I don't have a problem with that.
But tell me honestly, what is the point of you picking up bounties? Like there is some very
that you don't have a huge list of activities to, and that you can make quote unquote your personalized list of objectives.
That's okay, but if you think about it, Destiny is a very segmented game, right? You have segments of activities everywhere, right?
Yeah, but then it makes more sense actually to have it like that you can choose your own activities.
That's not what I mean. Like, if you think about it, Destiny is, yeah, you choose your own activities, but why do you have to pick up bounties for that activity before going to it? What is the point? Why is not the bounties, and the bounties is just one set of bounty daily, right? So you just like infuse the bounties into the activity.
That really doesn't bother me. It takes like 2 minutes to go pick them.
That's like waste of time, right? You should go to the
Nah, who cares?
vendors. You should go to the vendors to get the reward, right? That should be your interaction. You should be a happy interaction instead of go and pick it up and then you have like a bazillion thing inside your pursuit collections. Then you don't know if you just like implant it into the activities without being invasive. What I mean is like if you want to know which bounties are the game, you give right click on the activities, right? If you want to track it, you can select it, but they've been invisible. So if you're doing something else, for example, if you're doing like, oh, I need to do for this exotic quest, I need to go and do strikes, and and I need to kill X number of enemies in that strike with a weapon, right? So you go to strikes, and then I should go pick up the bounties. Why don't you? They just give you the list, and then when you're doing that, you're winning bounties, and that's it. But
That really no. I'll argue against that. Like that really
All right.
doesn't bother me that much. And on top of that, you're proposing something that takes away, like personalization power. Like yeah, I don't care. Like yeah, if I want to be doing Gambit and like track bounties that concern with strikes or whatever, that's my problem. Like
it gives you a choice. If you want to do it enough, if not, they're gonna grow passively, and then you're gonna get your prizes for playing the game.
You just said no. But what you just said is that if you're in one activity, it should show you a bounties for that activity.
Yeah,
and that what I'm saying is that I not really like why like maybe I'm doing a strike because
exactly,
and I don't want to track any.
Well, if you don't want to track it, you don't track it, but the bounties will be active in the activity without you going and picking them up. That's what I mean.
That sure, but that really doesn't bother me that much. It's just okay, I'll go pick them up. It really
all right. That
like my problem is not with picking them up. It's with
maybe that's my problem because I like a good flow in the game. There is something that should be optional. There's something that should be passive, and for me, bounties are like a waste of time to go pick them up. That's for me. Maybe that's I'm crazy and I like my games to flow better. But that's one problem. Second problem is like actually making bounties like with purpose of making bounties very boring.
Oh no, yeah. Look, the bounties itself, the objectives of the bounties are to shoot myself in the head. Yeah, no, they're mind-numbing.
So now the question is, what will you change it to?
I don't know. That's really hard because it also seems like bounties are kind of a core component on all of Destiny too.
Yeah.
Like everything is delivered through bounties and pursuits.
Yes.
So I don't know.
How do you change it?
It seems so like it
so
seems
ingrained,
to be
right? Super ingrained.
Yeah, it's so ingrained. It seems to be like a core component of the game.
Yes.
That I don't know how to listen to without that.
So then my question is, why Division 2 doesn't need bounties?
What does Division 2 do?
They have projects.
They have projects? You have to actually pick up the projects as well.
No, you have to pick up the rewards. All your projects are active
but if you finish a project and you don't pick up the reward, like the only way to get new projects is once you pick up the reward.
That's okay.
So yeah, so basically you still have to to get the new project, you still have to go to a vendor.
But that's my point. Your only interaction with the vendor is to get reward. And there is some project that you can actually get from the screen.
Not really.
Yeah.
No.
There's some projects you can get.
Projects no.
Yeah, the challenges are classified the daily challenges are classified as projects. They
No,
appear
the
on the
daily
same screen.
challenges are not projects. They are not called
Clearly
projects.
not. All right, fair. All right, but you have to go to the vendor to pick up your project. But you don't have to pick up the project to the vendor and then go to the project and then come back to the vendor and pick up the project. Pick up the reward.
Yeah, but it's even less like if that was the case, it will be even less of a hassle in division because you can fast travel everywhere.
Yes, that's true.
So it really doesn't matter.
But that's the system that Division 2 has. And that's why I think is a bothersome. It's so clearly because you're super aware of bounties.
um, and I think it's because the activities are way more entertaining too than that. Like, it's more straightforward. It's not kill enemies like this with this weapon with this type of damage. It's go complete this activity, go kill 9 enemies of this faction.
This boss. Yeah.
It's never that. Like it never tells you to kill a specific boss.
Yeah, it's just name enemies, right?
Just name enemies or go complete activities in this zone, whatever you want, or go complete control points, or go and do bounties. But it never like filters you down to like a super specific thing. Like no, like for example, it's never something like go kill enemies with an assault rifle.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just go kill them. Like go give them a stinking eye. Just
right, yeah.
kill them however you want. So that's a huge difference. It's just go do stuff. They tell you how much stuff do you have to do, but it's not like super narrow, which is my fundamental problem with the bounty
in the
system in Destiny. It's not that you have to pick them up. That's a quality of life improvement.
Yeah, for
if you
me,
want
it's a flow kind of like yeah.
But quality of life, sure, whatever. But my qual with the system is not the quality of life. Is that they force you to you have to kill 100 enemies with a sidearm. It's like I don't like sidearms. I don't care about them. So why do I have to do it?
All right, fair, yeah. So
which is something that the division never does. It just go kill enemies.
Yeah.
Go kill name enemies. Go kill of this faction.
Yeah. Yes. Go do this activity in particular.
And but you can do it however you want.
However you want. Yeah.
They don't force you to use weapons. They don't force you to use any particular type of thing.
So your problem with your actual problem with the bounties is like they're too narrow in in what you have to do.
They are funneling me into playing things that I don't want to play.
Gotcha. All right, there is. There's a fix is like you need bounties with like more broadly requirements. Like they don't narrow you into do this one specific thing. You can have them once in a while. Like you can have them once in a while, but in Destiny, there's all the time. Right?
Yeah, sure. You can have them once in a while, but
not all the time. Because they're not all the time. Right?
Also, I feel like sometimes they are too long. Like kill 70-something enemies.
Jesus.
With an SMG.
Yeah.
It's like, freaking Jesus, that's too much.
Yeah.
Because the mob density in Destiny 2 is not that high, so you have to roam around places.
Yeah, go into a lost sector when you know that.
Well, for example, like the Night Wave in Warframe.
Yeah.
It also has some
of this, right?
Some daily challenges that are like quite specific because it's kill this number of enemies with this type of damage.
Yeah.
Which means that you have to modify your loadout so that it has the type of damage.
Yeah.
And the numbers seem crazy usually because it's like kill 150 enemies with this type of damage.
12,000.
But actually, the mob density in Warframe is so high.
It's crazy.
That you can do that in one mission.
Yes.
Which usually takes between 5 and 10 minutes.
Yes. That is true.
So that makes it, since it happens so fast, it makes it less of a chore because you can then again, you can pick the whatever activity you wanna do. You wanna
Yeah.
go farm this. You wanna go open a relic. You wanna go Santorian slot. Whatever thing you wanna go and do.
Yeah.
Just be sure that you have the type of damage, for example.
And that's it.
And so many enemies are gonna come at you that is gonna happen.
Naturally, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So
yeah.
so those daily challenges in the Warframe Nightwave for Battle Pass for the fact it takes 5 minutes. So perfectly fine. Like I don't have to roam around the game
for an hour
trying to complete this impossible thing.
Yeah. Or like like go in and out of a lost sector 20,000 times.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
to complete this thing, right? Of course. Yeah. I agree with
that.
So
is that kind of, they feel like chores because they're super narrow, and sometimes they take surprisingly a lot of time to complete. For a player like me, maybe I'm playing wrong. I don't know.
No, you're not playing wrong. They actually take time. They actually take a long time to complete. So in conclusion, it'd be like less narrow bounties, please. For me, quality of life time, not having to pick them up. The majority of them not having to pick them up. Some I would like to pick up because there's some that are very specific, like the ones for the armory, for the black armory. Those ones are worth to go pick up because you pick up like a frame of armor that you want to like grind that day. Because they're actually a choice there. And
I guess for me it's like,
and make it less grindy.
Yeah, it's not about less grindy. It's just
be aware of your density.
Be aware of how long it's taking your players to because because for me a mistake is if you have to roam around and somewhere to try to complete that specific thing. Then it's failing to just a daily stuff to do.
Yeah, fair enough.
The ideal thing is you log into a game, you have a goal for the day. Like, okay, I wanna complete this step in this quest. I wanna go and play Gambit Prime just to relax. I wanna go play Crucible just for the fact.
Yeah.
And the ideal thing will be, okay, so that's your goal, that's the activity that you wanna complete, and that you can easily within reasonable parameters, complete the daily bounties.
Yeah.
And that you're not in the situation that, okay, you finish 4 strikes and, oh, Jesus, I still have to complete precision kills. After 4 strikes? That's what?
Yeah, but I already did all the strikes that I wanted to do today. Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you, for me, the point is, if you find yourself in that situation, something is not working. Like,
yeah, they're not flowing correctly. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, the next point. See if we can actually save this game. In-game lore delivery.
yeah, that's.
I think we talked about this a little bit, like in the past episode.
We did, and you had suggestions.
Yeah.
Well, I remember one of the things that you suggested was for them to like read some of the lore
have an in-game narrator. Yeah, just hire Byfear and put it like to read all those lore. He does a very good job.
You know that wouldn't work for me.
Oh, really?
Because you know that I play games without the game sound for the most part.
I know, but that's like for me. That's like that's a bare minimum suggestion.
Yeah, no, but like I get it.
Yeah,
and it's a simple solution. Or just thinking of the way that I play video games.
Yes.
And like usually I keep the sound of the game for the first couple of hours of my in-game experience.
Yeah, just
like when and for example, when we were playing the vanilla campaign, I was listening to stuff. I was enjoying the sound design.
Yeah,
but after 500 hours, I'm kind of tired of how the game sounds. I'm gonna shut it down and put my own music.
Yes. All right. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
And I do that for all the games. Like I do it for Warframe, and I love the sound design in Warframe.
Yes.
It sounds amazing.
Yes.
But after the 1,000 hours that I have put into a game
of hearing
of the same pew, 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 that gets old. Like as well designed as it is, anything after 1,000 hours gets old. So.
Yes, it's correct. That's correct. Yes. So what would be your solution in this case then?
Um, it's I don't know, because once, like, in first place, I kind of I have already mentioned this, and is that I don't care that much about the narrative.
Yeah.
And the games whose narrative I have enjoyed a lot in the past,
Yeah.
like probably a way of delivery doesn't work that well, because probably one of the best narratives in games for me was Warcraft 3.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
It was like an amazing story. I got invested in the characters. I care about what happened in the story for them.
Yeah.
And the way that it was delivered was like in between missions, cinematics.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not super crazy CGI cinematics,
Yeah.
but like in game with the like in game render cinematics with. Do you know how they were?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. So it was not crazy CGI, but like small things that they will show me in between missions. But that thing probably doesn't work for for Destiny.
Like small in-game cinematics, it's like it's very costly. Like to do it with the quantity of lore that they're introducing into the game is very costly to do it all the time to deliver lore like that. That's why one of my bare like minimum thing, unless they do it with like big starts of season or big, they actually do it. The example is reckoning. They actually you go to a planet and then you sit there and then you see the actors delivering you the lore in kind of dialogue with the in-game models, right?
Okay, what about this? What if they did like an opening cinematic, for example, for each
Faction.
room in the menagerie that they showed you the first time that you get into a room,
Oh,
kind of to explain where that came from, and like you have a voting system to skip it. So if
yeah.
everyone skips it, we all skip it because we have all played. And but the first time I'm gonna sit it through like a
Well,
two, 3 minutes.
you can actually like you can do that in the game should know if you've seen that cinematic or not. No.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But like things like that, for example, that I think that manager is super cool,
Yeah.
and like it will be really nice to have like something that gives me some of the lore behind it.
Yeah.
What does the room was used for? Why do fight these enemies in that
Yeah.
kind of thing? You know?
Yeah, what they are fighting on in Destiny is they don't want to stop the flow of the game to deliver these kind of things. But I think
You
it's
have to
doable.
make concessions. Come on, like it's,
But I think that is doable. I think that is absolutely doable, right? It's absolutely
yeah,
like
but that's those are the little things
yeah.
that kind of give you a little bit of flavor. And of course, like we all are gonna watch the cinematic once,
Yes, of
and then we're
course.
gonna skip it.
Yeah,
But
like they
at
do
least
it
it was once there.
they do it presenting the rates, but that's it.
Sure, but okay, and that's fine. That's fine
Yeah.
and dandy. But you expect the raids to be the activity that the smallest percentage of your player base completes,
Yes.
because it's the hardest,
It's
the
content. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
most difficult content to access and to complete.
Yes.
So sure, but you should deliver that also
In the smallest way, yeah, yeah, of course. You can
for
do
the
it like
menagerie,
I says
for the black armor, for I don't know.
yeah, and there's actually ways to do it because they do it with the lore inside the reckoning. They actually put you in a room and then you see the messenger sitting there and they give you dialogue and he moves and points to something, or you see him big and then they give you like they talked about it and then they show you a flashback in a little cinematic. They have done it. They have
Yeah,
done it.
and it doesn't have to be like this like high production CGI thing. It can be like render
With in-game models, yeah.
with the in-game models. almost like a machinima style kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the thing is, like, in terms of production, that takes a lot of resources.
Oh, of
That's
course, I'm
why,
not saying it's easy, but
yeah, that's why the solution for the quantity of lore that is hidden behind Destiny is narration, because it's the cheapest way and easiest way to do it. If they want to do it like this kind of like lore pieces that they do now, they actually do it when you like do this quest and then you go to the reckoning and then the what's the name, the emissary tell you something, they show you a small flashback of a narrative, right? But they do it just for these very specific lore piece points, right? They should do more machinima throughout the game to present
yeah,
some stuff, right?
it,
But
it, it, sh- it
that
should be
requires,
scattered
yeah,
in more
in more
activities.
activities. That's correct. I agree with that. But is more costly in terms of production time to do
It
that.
is, but
But that's
like
the
if you
idea.
want,
That would be the ideal. For me, I'll be happy with a narrator for the amount of lore they deliver. But it would be better if they actually put more of these in-game cutscenes with just
yeah,
like
like
movement of camera model and
yeah,
voiceover, maybe, right?
yeah, of course. Like maybe a narrator if you don't want to pay voice actors
Yeah.
and you know what kind of thing could also work. The way Warframe delivers the lore for their Nightwave, it's like this diorama. It's like a steel thing.
Oh, yeah,
It's
they're
a steel
great.
model.
And that's the cheapest thing ever.
It's the cheapest thing because it's a diorama, so everything
Yeah.
is steel. They just have an interesting camera moving around, and they
And a
can do that with
narrator.
the in-game engine
Yeah.
because the tool is there. So
Yeah.
they just move it, and there's someone narrating.
Yeah.
It's of course, I'm not saying it's super easy to do, but it's not like it.
It's not like great test on what.
People, yeah, like Warframe has the tool for the players to do
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because we have
Exactly.
capture scenes where you can take your frames, your friends, put them in positions, freeze the frame, and move cameras around.
Yeah.
So sure, it's not like super cheap, but it cannot be that hard. Like it's a steal. Like you can put the models, like put them in the
Yeah.
positions, make an interesting scene,
And that's it. It just,
and
yeah.
yeah, no, like
Yes.
couldn't something
Yes.
like that work?
Yes, I agree. I think the problem is like they hidden those kind of things behind a lot of the deepness of their seasons, right? Because outside of like the expansions, Warman and Osiris, you kind of have those moments of lore in the game while you're going from A to B where they actually talk with you about what's happening. But that's part of like a story structure. When you want to deliver sideways lore or expansive lore,
Yeah,
is where all those great texts are in the game, right? But you should deliver it in that way, like a diorama, super cheap way, with a overall narration. That way you can see more of that expansive lore. Because the problem is like now all that now is like hidden behind a bunch of like gray text, which of white on gray text, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
her solution.
They should definitely do like a diorama kind of thing.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
I think it's easy. I think it's fast, and you can hire just a narrator.
Yeah, you can just
instead of like like a full cast of voice actors.
hire Byfear. He's perfect for it.
I don't know who you're talking about, but sure.
Yeah, the dude who does all the lore videos that I like.
Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
so that's our solution.
But what about like outside of the game lore delivery? Because
What
now
about
that I've been back into Overwatch,
Yeah.
I realized that even though Overwatch doesn't give you any of their lore in game,
Yeah.
I enjoy all their CGI cinematics and like
The small CGI
comics
cinematics.
and yeah,
But that's all like money. Money.
dude, you gotta freaking Bungie, like they're not broken.
They're not broken right now, but they're gonna like through a lot of changes.
They should have used that Activision Blizzard money for that.
Are they gonna like kidnap one of the producers or something like that? The Activision businessman.
No, but like,
Who knows? Who knows?
come on, but okay,
Who knows? Like in
but
this point,
tell me if those Overwatch in between the CGI shorts and the character profiles, the character like little videos that are not completely CGI but are animated,
yeah,
like deliver a good chunk of lore,
yeah.
and it's
They deliver it in an interesting way. That's the thing, right?
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. There you go.
That's what I'm asking for.
Yeah,
Like,
there you go. So yeah,
they don't
should,
have to do it for all the pieces, but like,
yeah, they should. So the thing is, like, they should deliver more of their lore because they do it in a very small scale with expansions.
Yeah.
They should deliver more of the lore in interesting ways, more interesting ways. Be like
And-
dioramas, be expansions outside, mini cinematics.
I will also argue that like CGI shorts
Yeah,
generate a lot of publicity.
that's true.
Because when Overwatch releases one of those, like a
Yeah.
lot of people watch them, and I guess a lot of people get back into a game just
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah. To check the new hero, even if it's just to
Yeah.
check the new hero.
Exactly, and you don't have to do it like for everything.
Yeah.
Let's say like it would be nice to have like cool lore, like backstory lore about Ikora and Zavala and all these people, and that may or may not make me more interested about them. I may care about them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, no, like
it makes you no want to shoot Kate 6.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
but for example, like I remember that when I watched for the first time I forgot the title, the Reinhardt CGI.
Oh my god,
for Overwatch.
the Reinhardt animation that made me cry.
Yeah, me
Oh
too.
my god.
But then but then like I care about the character.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna shoot it in the face in game because that's what the game is all
Yeah.
about. But I care about it, like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It resonates. That
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah. Absolutely, yes.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to do it all the time, but you can probably they can probably do it for big characters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, absolutely, yes. Well, yeah. I think that's a good suggestion to do like that kind of.
It's just a mix of all this media could be useful.
Yes. But yeah, definitely deliver the lore in a more interesting way. I think that's our main point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Riskier items design. What do you want to do about
You brought this to the table.
Riskier items design.
Yeah.
I
mean,
what I was referring to.
Now this is probably, and I don't know how related this to is, but I mentioned last time that at least for me in general, the aesthetic of the item design is not
that was my point.
interesting.
Yes.
It's too plasticky.
Too plasticky, yeah.
It's all the characters seems to be made out of foam and
yeah. And like
kind of cosplays.
and like I saw this. I finished the enhanced armor for the Solstice of Heroes, right? And the design of the armor was very pretty, but I thought it had the actual light effects, and I found out that you have to buy the actual light effects.
Oh, BS.
Yes.
BS.
And for each element, if you want different elements.
Oh, no.
Right? And I'm okay.
Disappointment.
and that was my point of riskier items design, right? The weapons
I see.
The weapon does a great job at this. Like some of the weapons in Destiny is super weird. Like they have like liquid, or they have like things on top of it, or
I don't think they do a great job.
They make a better job than the armors. That's my point. This is my point.
Yeah, but I still don't think the weapons do a great job. They do an okay job for me.
All right, Erica, we're not asking for like miracles here.
Like a lot of the sidearms look really boring.
Yes, absolutely. They look like toy guns.
Yeah, like straight up plastic
Yeah, yeah, teaser guns.
guns. Yeah,
All of the sidearms look like toy guns. This is not
yeah.
denying, right?
And
But
I mean, the hand cannons don't look that much better or different among themselves.
there's some hand cannons which are like it looks very boring.
Most of them look really boring.
All right.
Even though I enjoy shooting them, they don't look that interesting.
But the exotics, like again, in terms of design, the exotics should be more weird. There's some of them which are
Everything should be
cool.
more weird.
What? Yeah,
Everything should be more weird.
exactly. Everything should be more over the top. Like, and why do you sell like these light effects? Like, if you're chasing this armor, why don't you like put? I don't expect to. Like, clearly the light effect that you buy, they have like extension and neon stuff, right? But I expected to at least the base armor to have some kind of light effects because it's a special armor, right?
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
pretty.
if you're
They're pretty on design, but that's about it.
if you grind a lot for it, yeah, it should definitely be more visually interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how it looks because I haven't grind for
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
so
But
I'm
at
taking
least
your
give
word
you
on that.
one of the light. Anyways, it's like you want to more of that because those armor look really nice, right? When you buy the effects for the actual armor, they actually look really nice and very Destiny like.
How is this? How is that thing called?
Solstice of Hero.
Solstice.
Yeah. Yeah. You're trying to
I'm
look
gonna
for
Google
the
it.
actual. Yeah, Google the armor.
Solstice of Hero Destiny 2 2018.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna complain probably.
Okay.
Nah, they're still too samey for me. Like for example, I'm looking at a picture just of one Titan thing with blue things, one
Yeah.
and for example the legs. They look like all the legs in the game. Just
Yeah.
with light around it.
But that's what I mean. That's my point. My point is not that they're good. My point is that that's the direction because the majority of like riskier like quotation, big quotation, in Destiny come for that kind of neon light stuff.
Okay, I see what you mean now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna push back hard on that because I want different stuff. Like no matter how much light details you put around those leg plates, they're the same leg plates. I don't know if you see what I mean. Like, sure, the light effects looks really cool.
I get it. And that's why the riskier game design is like take your concepts for like some of the exotic armor pieces, which has like weird light stuff, especially helmets, right? Or have like crowns or weird bone stuff going everywhere, and put it inside the normal pieces of armor. And they make your exotics even more strange with more effects, with like more light pieces or whatever bone things or whatever the thematic it is, right? That is my point in terms of design.
No. I agree, but I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
My only pushback is that the Solstice of Heroes armor things,
Yeah.
they're still not doing it for me.
Clearly.
I need more than just.
You need more weirdness. I know.
Yeah, at
You
least
need more distinctive. I think that's the point.
It's just that they honestly to me look the same to the other pieces, like in terms of like general shapes.
Yeah.
They just has light accents.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have to be more risky with their designs. I think that's the point that we're trying to drive here. They have to like take it one notch Put it to 11.
Not one notch, a lot of notches.
All right,
It's
for Lucho, a lot of notches. For me, a little bit more, just to
yeah,
baseline, so it start to be more distinctive.
yeah.
That's the thing. All right, you have a big question here, Lucho. Tell me about it.
This yeah.
It's
This
big and it's difficult.
it is a difficult
Yeah.
thing. Um, I was I was watching your stream of when you were playing with our friend,
Yeah.
and
Did you saw me like delete all those armors?
not even that. I was listening like, yeah, all of this is trash, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's, and I get it. Like after some point, for most of these loot heavy games, like the Division and Diablo and WoW and
Yeah.
even Borderlands, at some point, like most of the stuff that you get is trash.
Yes.
Like when you are like farming for specific things, like yeah, like you end up deleting a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Is is there a way to avoid that, or is just that just a core part of a game, loot heavy?
Is unfortunately is how do how do I explain this? All right. There is a solution to this, right? But when you are designing items in a very intentional way, this is going to
Yeah.
happen eventually, right? If you have a machine who can randomly design an item without breaking the game, this will be fixed, right? Because every iteration of an item that you see will be radically new. But such system is too difficult to make without fundamentally breaking the game. I was talking with a friend about doing kind of a looter shooter game with this system of mine. But the condition was that the items that you generate have to be unique in a way that cannot be replicated. In that case, nothing will become trash. Do you get what I'm trying to demonstrate here?
I get it,
Yeah.
but I think that's a really bad system.
Why?
Because if nothing is trash, then you have too many options and you want to keep everything, and you cannot sustain that.
You will not keep everything. The point is like at some
But
point,
but, but
at
if
some
it is not
point,
trash, I want to keep it.
yeah. But at some point, that's inevitable, right? Things that you don't deem because worthiness of an item is deemed by the player.
Okay, so even in what you describe, there are things that are going to
Yeah.
become trash.
Yes, but that will be a system that will be like the less one. You know what I mean? You be
I
the
don't.
one that
I,
like
I,
generally less trash of all the system that
oh,
we have.
I wouldn't think so. If it is like if it is up to me, it's like a lot of it is gonna. It's a lot of it is gonna be trash.
Because worthiness is in the eye of the players, right?
Yeah. So okay. So we agree that that's the case.
Yes.
So there is no fix for that.
No.
There is just however you manage loot
Yeah.
at some point in your gameplay,
Yeah.
usually on the quote unquote end game,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a lot of trash.
Yeah. Exactly. The only thing that
Okay.
that whole system would generally be interesting, it will be like you can trade those trash that you consider trash items with other players.
Sure, but still
Right?
trash to you.
Still trash you. Yeah. So it's inevitable.
So
What are the
okay.
solutions, right? To that, to make the to make your trash a reward for the player, because that is the point, right? there is a million ways that is being implemented. In case of Destiny, is they will give you resources, so materials, right?
Sure, that's what most games do, if you think
Most
about it.
games pass it through a grinder. They give you resources so you can do X or Y. The most interesting thing is an interesting crafting system, because that those resources and that trash takes a better meaning.
Yeah, and that's exactly. So that's where I was going with
Yep.
this, and with the next point that you see on our
Yep. Yep.
document is exactly that. So yeah, trash is unavoidable on these type of games.
Yep.
So we're gonna end up just destroying them, getting probably materials.
Yeah.
What do we use these materials for?
In Destiny, we use it to generate more roles in items.
Yeah, sure, and to infuse stuff and that.
Yes.
But after some point, and probably our friend, like, who's an expert in Destiny 2, is in this situation where he's stockpiling materials by now. Like,
Yeah, of course.
he's just sitting on mountains of materials.
Yeah, eventually end up
And-
sitting on a mountain of materials.
Yeah, but then you have to do something with that, and that's where I was thinking, would Destiny 2 benefit from some like crafting system?
They have the infusion system, which is the funnel.
But that's not crafting.
Yeah, no. But my point is, they have the infusion system, which is their funnel for the materials. They have, like, the way that you see it is like you are generated all these resources and you need funnels for them, for the players to use, right? So you don't feel like you're stockpiling resources for no reason. Your funnels, your, like, what you use your materials, have to be interesting enough, right? That's your point. They have to be interesting enough to be core of the game and to be fun enough. So there's a multiple of ways of doing this, right? For Destiny, they do it in the infusion system, and then you have a bunch of trades when you can trade certain materials for other materials because they're required on the fusion, and their infusion is their big spender, right? You can even use these materials to buy more armors and weapons for rolls. So
Sure,
they don't
but
have
I
a
feel-
crafting system per se. They have
I
a
know.
random generated roll system.
I know, and my point is that infusion system is not interesting enough.
Yeah, of course, it's not satisfying at all.
so that's that's
That's
still
your
my
gripe.
point. Like,
Would
Sorry?
you want? That's your gripe. Would you want that system for something else?
yeah, would you have like a real crafting system, like when you can craft stuff?
In Destiny 2, you have a
Yeah.
crafting system. I don't know.
I don't know either, and that's because
Will it be interesting?
and it will be interesting, but it's probably something really hard to balance with, because, like, from my experience,
Yeah,
these grindy games
yeah,
either fall into categories: the ones that drop items for you,
yeah,
a la Diablo, a la Destiny,
Yeah,
a la
yeah.
that kind of thing, or the ones that revolve around crafting systems, like
Alright.
Warframe, like Monster Hunter.
yes.
But they never seem to mix together.
The best try is the Division 2, right? And they've been like tinkering, they've been struggling very hard.
Exactly. They're struggling.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have a semblance of trying to mix the two things, but it's unbalanced, and one of them is kind of useless.
Yeah. Yeah. So the problem is the funnels that you create to be interesting. I think
Mm.
what has been the funnels for Destiny 2 so far? Infusion and like trying to roll for stuff and buying stuff. Like you can buy the mods, but that funnel is super narrow. And again, I'm gonna put myself forward as a hopeful for Destiny 2. In Armor 2.0, seems like all those materials can be invested in buying mods for your armors and kind of progressing a perk system inside an artifact. Kind of like what we were doing with the Menagerie Cup when you get like this currency and you augment it. But I think they're gonna
Yeah.
do it through those materials. So you can use those stockpile materials to actually advance inside systems of the game. and they're gonna do it seasonal. So you're gonna actually always every change of the season need more materials to use. So they introducing that's my it's not confirmed, but that's my conjecture that they're gonna introduce that new funnel for your materials inside the game.
Um, yeah, I don't. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't know.
but I don't
I
know.
think.
How do you know?
I
I don't know how
think.
you make an actual crafting system in Destiny 2 without like removing a lot of the grind of the game
Um,
and
it
running into
doesn't.
the same problems of Division 2.
It doesn't remove the grind completely. Just like what I believe should be done, but I don't know how feasible this
Yep.
is that the crafting system should be like an end game thing,
Yes.
kind of like you should progress to throughout most of the game by like just the loot drops,
Yep.
and that's gonna get you like 90% of the way to a max power level thing that you
Whatever.
can
Yeah.
attain in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that last bit of the game, that end game pursuit of ultra optimized power,
Yeah.
should be done through crafting.
Yeah.
And then that way, this is like you cannot bypass the looting. That you cannot bypass the grinding
Because you
just
need
by
those.
crafting.
Yeah.
And it also you can make it in a way that it's like super resource intensive, in a way that only end game players have the resources to
Yeah.
actually.
The problem is not making that system like super relevant because the people are gonna complain.
But that's sure, people are gonna complain, but that's kind of my point, that on the end game it should be super relevant.
All right, fair.
That's actually what I'm proposing. I don't know if it's a good design, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. I think I prefer like a system of another system of augments. Like for example, for example of Warframe with the for me an in-game system that you don't get to experience till in-game is forming stuff because it's super expensive in terms of time, in terms of resources, in terms of how you acquire
sure.
forma, right? And that's the system that keeps you grinded, right? Super expensive system with forma because that's the way. But it's not so far fetched that you when you're starting the game you can like, okay, I acquired some format. I'm gonna do this little build which requires small
Sure.
investments and it can give me there. And then when I'm in the in game, I will do it like super streamlined and easy, right? Because I'm already there. That's the thing about those systems. Like I prefer not purely crafting, but a system that is like that. That it requires heavy investment at some point and it doesn't let you waste everything that you have. And for me, that's a very interesting in terms of Warframe. That's a very interesting system. The format system is super painful in the ass, but I
Yeah.
think it's very very useful for fixing that problem in particular.
That's an interesting idea, just to make it so that it's an end game way of
Yeah,
augmenting, quote
yeah,
unquote,
exactly,
somehow
exactly. I prefer that.
the stuff that you already collected.
Exactly, I prefer that instead of any purely crafting system. Right.
I like
That's why.
I like your idea, but I
Yeah.
like purely crafting stuff. Because and I'm saying
You
this
can
it's
have
because
both. You can have both. You can have
you could.
crafting in a game, but you cannot have that system to dominate your end game. That's my point.
Why not?
Because it's difficult to balance and it's too far fetched. I prefer a system that is overlap over the other systems instead of being the only end thing.
Maybe, but I'm thinking I'm thinking a lot of thoughts. Now it's just
Right.
because I really enjoy the crafting part of. So for example, in my mind,
Yeah.
the current state of Monster Hunter
Yeah.
is that you craft your weapons and your
Yeah.
armor
Yes. Yes.
up to almost the end game,
Yeah.
and at some point you encounter our temple Kultarot,
Yeah.
and those are some of the best weapons.
Yeah, but if
but you cannot craft those. Those
Yeah.
are drops. And they are super relevant. They don't
Yes.
completely dominate, but
Yeah.
for the most part, they're the best weapons.
But if you think about it, the crafting system in Monster Hunter is their main system,
Oh yeah. No, it's no. I agree with that. It's
right?
reversed.
Yes,
But
reverse.
but it
And
but
the
it's still,
drops are the end game system, right?
and that's the idea that I'm trying to reverse.
But
Like,
reverse, I think reverse that is like I think it's doable. But again, you're building upon systems, right?
yeah.
That's the idea I'm gonna try. Yes, it can be done. Like it can be like crafting at the end. It be at the end game if you just reverse the formula of Monster Hunter when you get drops and then at the end you get access to this crafting, but it's like super expensive, right? But my point is like for that system not to fail, it has to be ingrained inside the other system that you already established. Right? It has to be an augmentation of the system that you already established. No, not a different total system that is just accessible at a certain point. You know what I mean?
But yeah, but in Monster Hunter is not an augmentation system. It's different. It's parallel. Like the weapon drops from Kultarot for Temple Kultarot. They don't augment your weapons. They're just different weapons that are better.
Yeah,
Or
but
worse.
they work under the same parameters that all the other weapons that you crafted worked. That's my point.
Oh yeah, sure. Of course they
yeah.
do. Yeah. Like it's not a completely separate thing.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. It cannot be a completely separate. It has to be ingrained into systems. Because
But
that
it's not augment. Sure, but it's not. But what I'm saying is that is not augmenting the thing that you had before. It's just giving you something different.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's
And
a different
that's
approach. Yeah.
and that's what I was saying. Like,
All right.
sure, like what I'm proposing is something at those same terms. Like, yeah, the crafting that you're gonna get is not to augment the things that you got before.
Yeah.
It's just different things. Yeah, still fall into the same game framework.
Yeah.
Like systems of the game, but it's just different, and it's for the most part better.
But then
It's gonna require more time. But
all right. But then the thing is like then you have different answers to that, right? You can not only do crafting, right?
Sure, yeah.
There you go. So I don't know. I think not necessarily crafting in Destiny 2 because I don't know. Maybe it could work. I have no idea. Maybe it could work.
I think I'll be really interesting. I will be really interested in something like what I just described, like where you can like just drag the stockpile of resources that you have,
like
and you can get the best thing ever. Like
at the end, I think will be interesting on a variety of systems that are like that give you options, right? Because, for example, in Warframe, you can like invest a lot in making form and making builds, but you can invest a lot too in like building cosmetics for your Warframe.
Yeah.
Or in building stuff for your orbiter, right? So that's a variety of systems that helps that endgame. So I think the most positive thing is like have a variety of system that helps that endgame.
That's true, but
could be, I don't know if I want to make a house in Destiny 2.
I mean, any game would benefit from a housing system.
Yeah.
You can decorate your own stuff. That's any MMO like game benefits from you being able
housing simulator.
I mean, whatever space you can make feel like your own is gonna help you connect with the game more. So
all right, fair enough.
That's fairly straightforward.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have something that you built on your own and it's
the
thing that you appreciate and you want to show other people,
that creates a great connection with the game. That's
a huge connection.
Yeah, of course.
Why do you think Warframe is successful?
Yeah. And on that topic, cosmetic system for our last point in this discussion.
Yeah.
So there is have you seen this? Have you experimented? Have you seen the cosmetic system in Destiny 2? Have you opened
the ornament stuff?
Yeah, the ornament stuff.
Yeah, that's too little.
They're gonna put a system like that in Armor 2.0 supposedly when you can put
Armor also, like some of the armor pieces right now also have ornaments.
yeah.
So I don't know. Like I find the ornament system like underwater in it too.
Yeah. The only thing that I've seen is like those lights and then the ornament system, which fundamentally changes the visual of the weapon to something more
Yeah.
interesting. But I think what we're talking about here is augmenting and customizing more deeply, right? Not only
Yeah,
you have
just
like different tips, but you can have like man, Warframe is so good. This is ridiculous.
yeah, but that's
it's like you can have like
it should, the game should
tattoos.
give
Yeah,
like the game should give the players more customization options.
yeah,
Destiny 2
absolutely,
is lacking so hard on that.
absolutely,
Like you get
absolutely.
these palettes of 4 colors that you're forced to use.
Yeah,
Like
the
I don't
shader system,
know.
which is horrible system in my opinion.
It's yeah.
It's a terrible
Like
system.
even if you get a million of shaders,
It's very bad. And
it's
like
very bad. Like
I think for me, I don't know, for me, I think the genius of DE in this aspect and why we always say and well a lot of community of Warframe say that fashion frame is the true end game. It's because you have so many customization options that it's ridiculous. At this point it's ridiculous.
it's not only that. I would argue that like that speaks to something fundamental in us that you want to do something really cool,
Yeah, really unique.
and then show it to people.
Yeah, exactly. And you wanna
That's the thing.
Yeah, and you wanna be apart from all and very distinct and be your own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you wanna be you wanna look unique and cool,
yes,
and once
absolutely.
you reach that point, you wanna show that to people so that people can see that, and people say, "Oh, I wanna look that cool."
Yeah, exactly.
And then they get invested in the game, and it's a
absolutely.
cycle.
Yes, absolutely, and I agree with that.
But
That's a
Destiny is,
very
look at my blue and white shader. Oh,
it's terrible.
it's awful. It's awful.
I will 100% agree with that. And Destiny is super lacking on the cosmetic side, and I think they can learn a lot about Warframe. Oh my god, man! How many options do you have? You have like front back tattoos. You have like five pieces of stuff. You have a
You can personalize.
You have like energy stuff, which in Destiny shouldn't be that good because the energy that you generate has to be with like what type of power you're using, but it
Who
should
cares?
who cares? It should be allowed to change in some ways. Like why not, right?
No, Warframe has a lot of options. Like you can
now they have
put
ephemera.
a lot of colors.
Oh,
You have ephemera, but not only that. Like you can change all the colors in your ship.
Yeah.
You can change all the colors in your Warframe. You can change all the colors in the things that you attach to your Warframe. You can change the colors of your kit. So
like as
so
basic
cool. Of your companions.
as basic as you can make like a Destiny. If you make a Destiny like basic, like super low ground, if you make an attachment system in Destiny, that will elevate it
could help.
automatically, right?
Yeah.
Just making an attachment system. Just not even going like even less. Just making a tattoo system when you can put stuff on your armor.
Give them
Right?
capes.
Capes.
Freaking capes.
Freaking capes. But yeah,
Scarves,
you can like
hats, I don't know.
Minimum if you can have like an attached like a tattoo system in your armor, that would be like the bare minimum, right?
Yeah.
And you can have
You know, I think Anthem had the right idea with that because
Yeah.
they had a really in-depth, like, they failed on the allure.
They failed.
Let's put that on the table.
Yeah.
But for example, I feel like Destiny would benefit a lot of this kind of material
the materials.
kind of thing that
Yeah.
Anthem had, that you could choose materials for your pieces.
Yeah.
So that not everything feels the same plasticky.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
will benefit the Destiny feel a lot, that I could pick pieces that I want to make look like more metallic or rubbery or cloth or stuff like that,
Yeah.
and then change the colors of those things on
Just
top of
that
that.
baseline, right? But
Yeah.
I think it will be easier to make an attachment system because
Oh,
fondling
definitely,
with the
I don't want
shaders.
easy. I want the best.
Yeah, you are the desire. I'm like the realistic person here because fondling with like for me the most realistic system will be like a tattoo system, like when you can put like stuff on your armor, that'll be the easiest thing, or an attachment system. That'll be the two easiest to actually develop and implement in the game.
Oh yeah,
Because a
sure.
shader system is hard to do because you are changing the way that the engine renders certain materials.
Yeah,
And
let's do the reality.
and depending how they build their engine is going to be like ridiculously hard.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Right?
I'm not claiming any of what I'm saying. It's easy.
Right.
I'm just saying that's what they should do because
Yeah.
I really don't care about your sad red and blue shaders.
Yeah.
I only use that system when I'm waiting for people to do stuff and I'm bored. Like
Yeah.
while in Warframe, I do spend a lot of time
You do spend a lot of time just making a transition in your frame.
because that's important.
Yeah,
and because
yeah.
like I do have the tools to do it.
Yeah.
But the tools are so meager in Destiny 2 that it's
It's sad. It's sad. It doesn't deliver that onus of your character.
that's if that would help a lot with
Yeah.
how connected the players feel to
To
a
the
game.
actual game. Absolutely.
If you can make that character your own and unique, and if you want to have a fully pink Titan,
Yeah.
with
With like
wings.
Hello Kitties dangling
Yeah.
and yeah.
Who cares?
Who cares? Right? Is your like, and there is nothing in the Lord that stops you. Man, what do you think? I will just put it in a crazy context. What do you think a guy who is immortal will do with their time besides kill him when he's not off killing monster?
I know, getting drunk.
Okay. But my point is
Yeah, I know.
My
I know,
point
but
is-
like
it makes sense that they will try to be unique. They're reanimated dudes who don't remember who they are. How insane will be the actual chase for identity? Just for
yeah,
like,
sure, I don't
if
like
I
for
wanna,
that.
if I wanna find an actual like explanation to give you super customization in Destiny, that would be the easiest thing to do.
I
right?
don't. Well, customization shouldn't have an in-lore explanation
Of
because
course
that's
not.
not the objective.
It's
The
not
objective is
necessary.
to.
It's not necessary. But if you wanna, if you don't, if you're super strict with your lore, right? I'm trying to defend them. Right? If you're super
If
strict
you
with
want to
your
be
lore,
super strict with your lore, just play with the base colors because those are the ones they give you.
yeah.
Fine. I don't care. Like,
But that's my point. Like they actually like the Guardians should be in a desperate and insane search for identity. That will make them like acquire colors of a faction at least, right?
nah,
And like
I just
tattoos
wanna-
and marks of the faction at least.
I don't care. I just
Bare
want to see
minimum.
full yellow hunters jumping around with.
That's okay.
Bunny ears.
But that's my point. My point is like even the reason for them to do it is super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Nah, no, you don't need reasons to be pink rhino. That's what I'm
fair.
saying.
But the point is we need better customization testing, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Bare minimum will be an attachment system. The super bare minimum will be like tattoos on top of it. They have the glowing things already, but I think they need more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
And that's it for a deep dive. Hope you have enjoyed our trying to fix
That's
Destiny
it for
2.
today.
And
We did it. Success.
we did it. Yeah, we made a better game. Probably Destiny 3.
Hire me, Bungie.
Hire me now. Hire me now.
This is my formal application.
This podcast has been submitted to the formal application of the on Bungie. So we are about to go into an audience questions and feedback for our last podcast. The first question is, what part of the Destiny campaign lore did you find actually interesting? Lucho? Creak, creak, creak.
Yeah, a little bit. Probably I don't know. Okay, probably when they when you are killing all the mini bosses that the spider is sending you to kill.
Oh yeah, the Forsaken Haunt of the mini bosses.
Yeah, that part was
That
cool.
was
I
cool.
enjoy those. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Well, yeah, we get it. We got it. Nice, nice, nice. And for me, what part of the actual lore in the campaign that I find interesting? I think I like all the part of the Dreaming City. I think I kind of like that this hidden city and discovery what was the thing and going through portals and chasing this dude who's like kind of crazy. I really enjoyed that part of the campaign. And we're talking about Forsaken, nothing about Vanilla was interesting.
Yeah, maybe not.
All right, and our next question is: what things about how Destiny 2% his lore should not be changed?
Should not.
Yeah,
None. They should shine everything.
change everything.
Yeah, for me, yeah, they definitely should because
I think
so
that
far I don't care about the lore. So
I think the cinematic production is cool.
yeah, sure, it's cool, but okay, okay, yeah.
I think
They produce nice looking cinematics. It's just
and,
not enough.
and I think the lore that's actually like written down is cool. That is not well delivered is another different thing, but the actual lore
Sure,
that the game has is interesting.
Yeah,
But we're talking about presentation, so yeah, we're talking about presentation, so yeah, just
Yeah.
the cinematics.
yeah.
Good job on
I-
cinematics.
sure. Do more.
Do more cinematic,
Do
please.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
that's about
so-
it for us.
So that's all for this week's episode. Thanks for tuning into a sweaty farmer and the game design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at Luis G. Polanco.
And I am the Lone Name Gamer. You can find me on Twitter at the Lone Name Gamer and on Twitch on www.twitch.tv/TLNG, where I stream Mondays to Friday all the games that we mentioned here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
And did you know? Each earworm is both male and female, producing both eggs and sperm. And of the more than 180 earworm species found in the US and Canada, 60 are invasive species brought over from the old world. So beware the worm!
But whenever you're living in your farm, worms would eat up to 3 to 4 kilograms of your kitchen waste every week.
Oh my god, your
Huh?
kitchen waste,
That's-
are you eating your children? How much waste can you generate?
In a week?
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot?
Like
So you just get
pounds
like
and yeah,
a worm farm and just make them eat everything.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
what do you grow before? Can you sell worms?
I don't think you can sell worms, but you can probably sell the soil that they fertilize.
Oh,
Yeah. Soil farmers. That's what
Okay.
we should become.
yeah, business strategy. Worm farmers.